Hey, welcome back to The Dive. On today's episode, we have the Vice President of Corporate Development of Hut 8 Mining, Sue Ennis. Sue's joining us today to discuss FTX filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, Brazil's new spot Bitcoin ETF, Ethereum changing from proof of work to proof of stake, as well as she's going to give us a much anticipated update on Hut 8. But before we bring you Sue's interview, do me a quick little favor and just go ahead and smash that subscribe button, please. Hey, Sue, welcome back to The Dive.
Hey, great to be here. Lots to talk about. Markets have been crazy.
Yes, we're going to start off with FTX. Last week, they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. What is your read on what's happening in the crypto world right now, specifically with FTX?
Yeah, so I think that, the real takeaway is number one, this isn't a problem or an issue with Bitcoin or the technology itself. Bitcoin has continued to produce block after block. Over 200 million people are actually transacting on the Bitcoin network. Institutional adoption is up and to the right. What we have is a tale as old as time story of, human error, human miscalculation, and really just another reminder that we absolutely need more regulation in this space on the trading platforms and the companies that are being built in the crypto ecosystem. And it's really sad to see so many people, lose a tremendous amount of money. But again, we've got to have more regulation, and this isn't a failure of the technology itself. This is a tale as old as time failure of proper transparency into businesses built around a new asset class.
Investors from Brazil now have an option to trade a spot Bitcoin ETF. What are your thoughts on crypto ETFs?
Yeah, so look, I think the more vehicles that people have to take a position or express an opinion on this asset class, the better. I certainly think that ETFs are a vehicle that people are very familiar with. And so if it takes, if the vehicle is constructive in terms of taking out some of the complexity around understanding this asset class and increasing adoption, I think it's a great thing. So yeah, I'm excited to see it and excited to see hopefully one get approved in the US at some point. Although I think right now we're certainly not anywhere close to that, given sort of what's happened with FTX, that I think that regulators are certainly going to slow down the amount of products and sort of companies that get approved in the space. So.
Why do you think it is that developing countries are more open to crypto?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I know in countries like Argentina, Venezuela, Turkey, certainly different countries in Africa, because there is a little bit of an authoritarian regime or control or sort of lack of trust in financial institutions, I think naturally that does beget greater interest into technology or means of storing wealth that is outside the control of government or outside the control of politicians that are effectively inflating your currency's value away, which we've seen in Argentina happen almost 3 times. And I think, obviously Venezuela, there's a similar situation, and Turkey, I also think we're at all-time highs in terms of inflation, Lebanon as well. So I think because of the current sort of incumbent powers and monetary authorities not always acting in the best interests of citizens, that has certainly increased adoption of, alternatives like Bitcoin.
Yeah. Okay, now this is the first time that we've talked since Ethereum changed from proof of work to proof of stake. What are the changes that you've seen since then? Did this change affect Hut 8?
No, it doesn't affect us because we are through Bitcoin miners. We did purchase cutting edge GPUs from NVIDIA in the spring of 2021, which was awesome because our whole strategy was mine Ethereum, but get paid out in Bitcoin through our partnership with Luxor Mining Pool. And so we were able to add something like 483 Bitcoin to our balance sheet at less than $4,000 Canadian per coin, which are tremendous margins, and margins at the end of the day are what we're all chasing, right? So that was great. And then those GPUs now, we are certainly looking at different ways to repurpose them or, again, put them to work mining alternative GPU-based networks, which still do exist, like the Raven coins, the Ethereum Classics of the world. But yeah, there's quite a bit of optionality that we've identified because, again, they were effectively like the Ferraris of GPU miners. And then in terms of the move to proof of stake as a whole, we certainly have seen a lot of more conversation in the media about how Ethereum is now 99% less energy intensive. And then there's certainly a lot of speculation that that will make Ethereum more palatable for some of the traditional institutions that use an ESG and environmental framework in their due diligence process prior to making an investment. So yeah, I mean, it's been good. Obviously Ethereum's still trekking on, but I do think that what we've given up in terms of getting rid of proof of work for Ethereum and move to proof of stake is we have seen more centralization. So for example, something like 30% of the Ethereum proof of stake network is in the hands of, I believe it's Kraken and Lido, and I forget the other company, but it's US based companies. So there is certainly some concern around, as the chain becomes more centralized, does that effectively leave it more at the risk of being controlled by governments? For example, in the US saying, no, Lido, you can't transact with Ethereum, or you're only allowed to transact with Ethereum given these certain parameters. So, speed and efficiency has gone up. Energy intensity has gone down, but we have somewhat sacrificed decentralization. So,
how does fluctuating power prices, increasing network difficulty, and sustained pressure on the price of Bitcoin change the way that you mine?
Yeah, so it's certainly Bitcoin miners are definitely under a lot of pressure right now because obviously when you're mining at cost, so when you're adding new Bitcoins to the network as a Bitcoin miner, it's certainly beneficial if how Bitcoin is trading in the secondary market is, the type of pricing that we saw last year of $50,000, $60,000. There also is an energy crisis right now globally. We're all feeling the effect of higher energy prices because of what's going on with Russia and the Ukraine, and Russia shutting down the northern pipeline. So it definitely affects miners in the sense that if you are over levered, if you do have a lot of debt on your balance sheet, that it is not a great place to be when, the sort of asset class you were chasing to pay down that debt is no longer trading where it was last year when you took on that debt, which is what we saw with Core Scientific, that did move into Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which is very sad to see. Same thing with Compute North. So it all really depends as a miner, sort of how did you set up your business? And Hut 8, what we did is, the entire bull market, we were effectively setting ourselves up for this bear market in the sense that, having a strong balance sheet and the ability to be flexible and pivot in the event that, things aren't going the way you want them to in the market is imperative. So we've got one of the lowest debt to equity ratios. We have over 8,600 Bitcoin on our balance sheet. We've got 33 million in cash. So that's really helped us survive and, effectively set us up for success in the coming bull market, which we do think is going to be back in like mid 2023 or, Q3 2023. So
you announced the company's Q3 financial results. Could you walk us through them?
Yeah, so they were great in the sense that we reduced our cost per coin, as we've talked about the importance of mining Bitcoin at a reasonable price. We reduced our cost per coin by 30%. We've got, again, 33 million cash on our balance sheet. And we're certainly have signaled to the market that M&A and taking advantage of some of these companies that are now trading at extraordinary discounts or have gone bankrupt, we see ourselves as in a position to do some really meaningful M&A. We're incredibly bullish on mining. We're incredibly bullish on Bitcoin, especially moving into the next halving, which is May 2024. So yeah, we're excited to update the market as we, when we can, about sort of what our plans look like.
Okay, so lastly, before we let you go here, Sue, what are the timelines or major milestones investors should watch out for with Hut 8 as we enter into 2023?
Look, I also forgot to mention that our high performance computing business, which is totally uncorrelated to anything that's happening in the crypto industry, it's a traditional vanilla data center business. That business also did earn us 4.4 million last quarter, which is great. I think, look, just stay tuned in terms of how we plan on continuing to grow on the mining side of our business and also the high performance computing side of our business. There's not much more I can say on that other than the fact that, we're really excited to continue our position as leaders in this industry and really stewards of balance sheet management. So.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and chat with us and give us the update, Sue.
Thank you so much for having me. Love you guys and talk soon.
Okay, bye. Thanks so much for watching. If you like videos like this, consider hitting that red subscribe button below me there, and be sure to hit that notification bell before you leave so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Bye, and we'll see you tomorrow.